Hello and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity, Continuum, Aeon, VARG for Salvation. So long of a name. Anyway, I am your story guide, Scott. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm going to let my players introduce themselves, starting with Nigel, who's then going to throw it to somebody else. Do it.
Hi, my name is Nigel. My pronouns are he, him. James, you're next.
Well, you already said my character's name, but I am James, pronouns they, him, and I will go ahead and pass it to Johnathan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnathan. I will be playing Rafael Alvarez Castillo, and my pronouns are he, him, though I will accept they, them in a pinch. And I'm going to toss it to Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh Heath. I am going to be playing Looks Upward Toward the Stars and Sees Danger, Ear Laughs At, and Destroys. They, them pronouns, and they generally go by laughs. So just to make things easier for folks.
You have to say
Found the exalt.
And I guess that leaves me. My name's Sean Creef, and I am playing Wu Cesar, he, him. And I don't have anyone to pass it to, so I'm back to Scott.
Back to me. All right. So we open, the camera pans through space, through the moon system of Jupiter to a small space station, roughly the size of a grocery store. So not very big at all. We see ships coming to and from it. One of those ships we zoom on and we see the image of the 7th Legion emblazoned on the side. It docks to the station. We zoom into the station itself, where we see very clean Spartan hallways, an airlock opening up, revealing 2 Legionnaire characters, starting with Flight Lieutenant Jude Fletcher. Nigel, could you please describe Jude to us?
Sure. Jude is rather average in terms of build and height. For anyone paying attention, he definitely seems to come from Earth. He's not tall or gangly like you would see from maybe someone who was born on the moon or Mars. He has shocking red hair, brilliant green eyes, and wears a bioenvironmental suit that is currently coded to look like and thus function like an astronaut suit, a space suit. It's rather form-fitting, but it's not like super skin tight, and it is in 7th Legion colors, sort of deep black, starry, light blue, and purple, with like little electric blue highlights. He has a pistol at his side in a holster, and an enamel knife in a sheath on the opposite side, and looks very much all business.
All right, and coming behind him is Logan. So Logan, please describe your character, or rather Jim, describe Logan.
Logan he's a little on the tall side, but not overly tall, standing close to 6 foot, very nondescript, general appearance, wears glasses, brown hair, a little bit of stubble on the face. They would be still in their prison jumper at this point. I don't know if they'd still be handcuffed or anything, but at this
point you would not have the cuffs on you.
Okay, so yeah, they have just recently been released from an FSA prison for being a decent human being.
Lord knows we can't have that in the FSA.
That's how they get you there.
So the 2 of you, this ship has been recently going through some very stealthy maneuvers, a lot of gravity assist slingshot maneuvers around Jupiter and its moon, attempting to conceal its pathway, to confuse anyone who might be watching or looking for you. And as thus, the both of you are actually fairly exhausted. As you come into the station, a holographic projection of the station's SI, its satisfactory intelligence, comes up in front of you and begins to escort you to your quarters, where they inform you that you should rest for a few hours before the rest of the team gets there, and there will be a briefing in the quote unquote morning, which, we're in space. So whenever that happens. So yes, they lead you to their quarters. The agent is it's a young, plucky, blue-skinned woman wearing a Project Proteus jumpsuit. She's very enthusiastic and very helpful, answers any questions that you might have. And she leads you by, every once in a while, she will blink up the hallway as the holographic trackers take over from one part to the other, and leads you to your quarters, which are nice but small and spare, where you guys are able to get a couple hours rest, or at least you hope. The next ship that comes up to the station, once again doing stealthy gravity assist maneuver, bears the symbol of the Aeon Trinity. And as the ship docks, we zoom back into the hallway, same airlock. It opens up and we see Johnathan. Please describe your character. Please describe Raphael.
Raphael is somewhat shorter than you would normally expect for a VARG pilot. He's likely right at the height cutoff for it. However, he is surprisingly kind of broad-shouldered in terms of build. He looks stronger. He looks like he could definitely take a hit. Dusky skin, dark eyes, dark hair. He does wear glasses. Whether those are actually enabled for augmented reality is anyone's guess. And he will be wearing perfectly pressed and perfectly in order uniform of the Aeon Trinity.
And coming beside Johnathan is going to be Laughs. Josh, please describe Laughs.
So Laughs is a listener. The listeners are a alien species that in some ways resemble crabs, in some way resemble starfish. They are shelled beings with 5 points, and Laughs is wearing a rebreather apparatus that allows them to breathe within human-friendly atmospheres, because listeners are not capable of doing so for long periods of time without some assistance, and has the Aeon symbol painted on their shell with a little gamma pip painted next to the symbol to indicate their rank and strong allegiance to the Aeon Trinity.
Excellent.
I guess I should have added as well, thank you, that Raphael does wear gamma pips on his uniform.
Excellent. One wonders how a listener has joined the Aeon Trinity. Very good question. Once again, the station's SI pops up holographically. You are both pretty exhausted from the travel, and she leads you to your quarters, letting you know that you have a few hours to rest and recuperate before the rest of the team shows up, and you have a briefing in the morning, which leaves our final member. Would Wu be coming via ship, or would they have other means of getting here?
It would probably be a ship, but it would probably just be a teleporting ship. It's more efficient that way. You know where you're going.
Okay, fantastic. So,
especially if we're bringing the VARG.
Yeah. Well, all of your VARGs have been brought here before you guys arrived to have some special modifications done to them. So you're not traveling with your VARG at the moment. But so, yeah, you are coming in a small teleport helm capable ship that pops into existence next to the facility, docks, and same hallway, same airlock opens. Your airlock opens, and describe Wu for us.
Wu is very short. He is of just short stature genetically on both sides. He has very prominent Asian features, but his skin is much darker, possibly Native American or South American. Sud-American. He is, however, not frail looking whatsoever. He has very short black hair that is cropped to stay out of the way. And he's just kind of gentle, has a bit of a smile. He waves to the friend who's the teleporter. He surely has met them before. There's not many of them. Says he'll see him around.
Yeah, and as you say your goodbyes to your compatriot, the station's SI pops up and offers to lead you to your quarters, and informs you that briefing will be in 4 hours.
Oh, and the strangest thing is that he also has a breathing apparatus. He is too good at breathing in a human environment.
My lungs are too good. Right. So you all are in your quarters preparing. You're not going to be here for long, so it really doesn't make sense to set up any personal effects or whatnot, but you can still get comfortable. And we will pan over as Wu is heading into his quarters. We pan over to another hallway where we are following one of the very few human staff members on this in this station. They are going about their business. They see another of their compatriots. They kind of nod and they say, "I have to go check one of the air filters, and I'll be right back for the meeting." And they go off. The camera follows them, and they make their way to the VARG bay, where we see 5 large, bus-sized vehicles sort of in the shadows. We don't get details on them just yet. But this crew member, she finds kind of like this little out-of-the-way maintenance area where there's like a tool shed, and kind of takes a very deep breath, centers herself, and then takes her fist and starts pushing on her stomach right under her rib cages, and reaches the other hand down her throat, making gagging motions. And eventually she works up this sort of grapefruit-sized, irregular, jagged egg thing. And she takes another deep breath, tears coming out of her eyes from the effort of bringing this thing out of herself, and then closes her eyes and then applies pressure, causing the egg to crack, and then intense purple light starts to glow and glow and glow until it consumes her. And then we rush back up over to each's quarters, where the SI pops back up just as you're just getting ready to go bed down for a couple of hours. And she says, "Station is under attack. Quantum energy detected. Pilots, get to your VARGs."
All right. We will waste no time and teleport directly to his cockpit.
All right. Well, we will need to roll initiative right now, actually. So for those not familiar, initiative in this game is going to be the lower of your empathy plus dexterity, or your athletics plus cunning. So please roll that up and let me know when you have numbers. Again, you're looking for 8s or aboves in successes.
Yeah, so we are, it is the lower of which of these? I'm sorry.
Empathy plus dexterity,
Okay.
or athletics plus cunning.
Okay.
4 for me,
Okay.
somehow.
All right.
2.
Are you holding up a 2 there, Logan?
Yep.
Okay.
2 dose.
All right.
2.
1.
Actually, do 10s count as
They
re-roll.
explode.
huh?
They
Re-roll
re-roll.
10s.
Exploding.
10s explode reroll. Okay, one moment then.
All right.
Yeah, still 2.
Cool. Sean, you said you had 4.
Correct.
Nigel, how much did you get?
0.
Okay.
I've got 1 out of 7 dice.
Okay. Okie dokie. So That means in our initiative order, now the way initiative once again works is you did not just roll your initiative numbers. What you did is you rolled to establish a slot for your team. So we are going to be starting at initiative number 5, which just so happens to be an aberrant. As you guys are shaken into awareness and the adrenaline starts to flow, you hear a terrible wrenching sound coming from the VARG bay. And then we go to 4, where we have a PC term. Who would like to take the first PC go?
So I have a question about one of my superior powers.
Okay.
Lightning Reflexes 2 lets me declare I am seizing focus before another character, friend, or foe. This doesn't adjust initiative roster. My character still gets my other action that round.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that I can act at the same time as the aberrant?
You could go before them.
Okay, then I would like to do that.
Okay, so you're activating that. Now that's once per combat
Yes.
that you can do that. So yeah, you activate that. So before that wrenching sound, Jude jumps into motion and you're able to head out the door. Like I said, this isn't a very big area. I would say that you certainly would be able to get to the VARG bay with your movement action. And when you do, you sort of open the bulkhead door, and what you see inside, you see 5 human-sized creatures that all seem to be made of perfect porcelain white. And their hands glow with this terrible purple light, and they are climbing up on the VARG bays, trying to get to your VARGs. And one of them starts to tear at one of the restraining bolts on the VARGs as their action. So yes, that would be your seize focus action to get there. And then the aberrant made its go. It's a terrible sound. It seems to be like cutting through the restraining bolts on it, trying to get at like a key component. And then we do have another PC go on 4. So Jude, would you like to go there again?
I can, but I don't want to steal the spotlight.
Okay, all right. So then you'll forego that. So we have another PC who gets to go on 4.
Sean, you wanted to go early.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, if it's possible, I would like to, assuming I do have because I'm formatted, I should have a connection to the VARG. Can I teleport into the cockpit?
You can teleport into the cockpit, yes, if you so desire. It's still in its restraining brace, so it would be needing to get out of it before it would be able to act.
How does it get out of that?
I mean, it'll probably take a round to.
Oh no, but can I initiate it, or do I have to break out?
No, you can initiate it. You have been informed. Yeah, you have full control over your VARG, including like release functions. So you don't have to ask permission or do anything. But yeah, you could start that process.
All right. Well, then I would like to do that. It is a roll of psi and translocation if we are rolling.
Mm-hmm. Actually, hold on. I need to roll something real quick if you are activating that power. As you are bringing your psi abilities online, you feel static. You feel resistance to your capacity to bend through space and time. That is going to be an additional +2 difficulty. Oh,
well, that's not very good, but that cancels out favored mode, I suppose. So what is the connection to a formatted device?
I believe that's like a pneumatic connection, like the closest kind that you have.
The psionic?
Yeah, the psionic connection.
Okay, so then I have a total of +4 enhancement. Sorry, +5. No, 4. 1 for being a dot higher than I need, 2 from favored mode, and 1 from the connection. So 6 dice for enhancement.
Go ahead and spend the corruption for that action interrupt.
And I rolled a single success.
Okay, so you are able to, with all your enhancement online, you're able to overcome that difficulty, and yeah, you pop into your VARG cockpit. The cockpit is sort of open at the moment. So once you get in, you start to feel the psychic connection starts to flow through you. Your feeling extends out. The cockpit closes over you as the VARG begins to come online. You see the same thing that Jude saw. You see these 5 porcelain individuals climbing over the VARG base. So we have 2 PC goes on 2. Who would like to go next?
I will, but unfortunately, I am not as fancy as some of these other folks that are running around, so I have to just use my own 2 legs to try to get in there.
Yeah. So yeah, you are absolutely able to book it, get to the VARG Bay. You're right behind Jude. You see this thing.
Yeah.
You see these 5 porcelain things just going to town. Who would like to
Excellent.
take the next one?
I would. So laughs, hears the SI, give the alert and yells, all right, cheese bags, let's go and make this a thing. Turn on the recording. We're going to listen to some tunes, some bang from 2102. Woo, woo, woo. And starts running down the hallway, occasionally slapping a couple of arms on the wall, pushing off and doing ridiculous spins while doing so.
Okay. Are you employing any of your edges to perhaps move faster?
Yeah, so probably several of them. You have free running as one of their edges, including both the obstacle runner and flow dots. So they're going as fast as they can, speeding down these hallways.
I will say that given your capacity to beat feet, for lack of a better term, that you would actually be able to get there in time to also have an action.
Cool. They are going to kind of already have a sense of what things are going to look like because of some of their clairsentient abilities. And so try to be ahead of whomever is going to be doing something aggressive from the antagonistic side. So just trying to find the right place to be to take a hit if one's coming against any of my friends who I know are going to be here.
Okay, so that you're basically pushing yourself full forward. Are you taking like a full defensive action then? Would that be
yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, just so happens there are some aberrants who have some opinions about your presence here. Let me bring up their stats.
I am going to send you a question real fast, Scott, but
Sure.
go ahead and continue.
No problem. So yes, one of these porcelain beings sees you coming towards it, sees you take a weird stance that kind of doesn't understand, but sees as aggressive, and they will jump off the VARG bays, their terrible glowing purple hands coming at you, and is going to take a smashing fist down on you. So please roll your defense, please. You roll double dice for having taken a defensive action.
Right. Okay, and just a reminder for audiences and for Josh, I get to choose the particular defense attribute that I use, correct?
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wow, that's a lot of dice. Okay, 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. Doing a little bit of math here. Do you have any durability scale?
I do not.
Well, this terrible purple hand seems to have like some heavy weight to it. In other words, it has the heavy tag. So it is operating at a +1 scale. So it has a total of 8 successes, -3 for your defense. So it has 5 successes to play with. What is your soft armor -2?
Soft armor -2 would be 0, or probably negative numbers.
Alrighty then. So it is going to come down on you, and it is a terrible, terrible blow right into the sort of center mass of your being, and you take 2 injury conditions.
Ouch.
Right in the squeedly spooch.
Right in the
Mhm.
squeedly spooch. I will say, yeah, it kind of gets you like right on one of the eye, like your eye sockets.
Yeah.
And so your vision is impaired. So you're going to have a +1 difficulty to any sort of vision based rolls. And then like whatever this energy in kind of burns at your it burns into you. And you will also have a -1 dice to any psi rolls.
Okay. Question on that, because I have telepathic resistance. Does that offer any sort of resistance
No,
to
this
this
is
sort of
very,
damage?
very,
Mhm.
very physical.
Fair.
Okay. A second aberrant is going to jump down and is going to clamber over into the cockpit just as it is about to close over you, Wu. And it is going to try and snake in a last minute jab at you. So please roll your defense.
Zero successes.
0 successes.
On
Fantastic.
5
Okay.
dice.
All right. What is your soft armor -2?
2.
2. Okay. So let's see here. It is going to, once again, it is seemingly a very powerful blow that nonetheless is able to crack you in the head, and you feel this burning on your hair as your hair kind of catches on this purple fire. You are also going to take 2 injury conditions from this because they have 1 scale over you, unless you have any durability scale on yourself personally.
No.
So you will you will also have a -1 die to any psi rolls until this condition is cleared up. And you also it rings your bells, so you're going to have a +1 difficulty on any mental based rolls.
Okay.
Let me go back to my initiative tracker.
Is it +1 difficulty or -1 die for psi?
-1 die.
Okay.
So that has done that. The last aberrant this turn is going to hold on. Let's see who looks more of a threat. Yeah, it is going to come for Jude.
I am curious if I can activate a gift, or if I need to wait for my initiative.
Which gift?
Chessmaster.
I will say you can go ahead and activate that if you so desire.
I'd like to spend a point of inspiration and activate it then for the group. So, Chessmaster, you all gain a new defense stunt, Outwit, for the rest of this scene, which gives you half of my reflective facet rounded up. So you all have +2 to your defense.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna be super nice and retroactively apply that. So both of you who have gotten injured, go ahead and take off one of those injury conditions.
Which one?
Your choice.
I'll take the psi off, because who needs to think?
Who needs to think? Anyway,
And
so
just for a thematic activation of that, just stay maneuverable. Don't let them hit you.
I'm already sitting down.
That's a you problem.
all right. So yeah, it is going to be coming after you, Jude, with that enhancement available to you. So go ahead and roll your defense, please.
Okay. I will use my make sure I'm using the right power here. I see the character. I see the hit coming. When someone targets my character with an attack, I can automatically increase my defense by 1. I can do this once per round. So this time I'm going to be bumping my defense up from 2 to 3.
Okay.
So that's 10. And that's a 9. So 2 successes.
2 successes. So that is plus your all right. And what is your soft armor -2?
2. Wait,
2?
What defense was I supposed to roll? A stat?
You are supposed to roll one of your resilience attributes.
Oh,
And then you get the bonus from Raphael.
Master.
yes.
Yeah.
Composure. I'll say that I rolled a composure because that's also a 3 dot, and it's just
Okay.
me like very calmly kind of looking and just like getting out of the way.
Okay.
Not so
Anime
much like,
dodge.
yeah, exactly, and it like super cool anime dodge. So I rolled 2 successes on that. My defense is 3, and I have +2 defense because of Raphael's gift.
So what that means is this thing comes down on you, and you are able to dodge right out of the way with your cool composure, plus the advice from Raphael and your inner reserves, and it does not hit you. Now I have a PC turn.
Which would be me.
Or Jude.
I thought Jude had already
Jude
gone.
sees focus.
Oh, yeah.
To
Okay.
do an additional turn this round.
My brain's not working yet.
You are fine. You are fine to go. I want to go at the end now.
Yeah, so Logan is still getting used to not being like shackled and chained a little bit. Takes a minute to kick into action. But they two go running down the hallway towards where they heard the attack was.
Okay.
They also have the free running edge at 2 dots, so
Okay. Yeah, then I will say you'll be able to get there in time to also take an action.
have they had their psi powers unlocked at this point?
Yes, you are fully capable of doing whatever you wish to do.
Okay. I want to have them attempt to flash freeze the guy that punched our listener friend.
Okay. Make that roll.
Now this is my first time playing a psionic, so I want to play with the new toys. I'm just trying to double check. It's not specifying roll, so is
it's going to be your psi plus your mode dots in that mode.
Oh, okay.
Your dice pool.
I remembered seeing that somewhere, but my brain just forgot it. So that would be a lot of dice. Come on, dice bot. That is 6 successes.
All right.
And I have favored mode, so that's a +2 enhancement, bringing it up to an 8.
Okay, fantastic. So that means you have its defense is 3. So you've hit it. You've got 5 successes to play with it. Its soft armor is 2. So that means it costs 2 successes to do damage to it.
Okay, so I still have 6 to play with.
Yeah.
After
No. So yeah. How much total successes do you have?
8.
8. Okay. So take 3 away from its defense.
Okay, so 5,
so
and then
5.
minus another 2.
Minus another 2 to do a damage to it, which you can do.
Okay.
And then you have 3 to play with. Does that power give you any?
It does let me spend successes to add tags to it.
Which tags?
So I'm imagining him flash freezing, so I could only add aggravated, non-lethal, spread, and weighted. So I'm thinking about spending 2 of those 3 for aggravated and weighted.
Okay, and you know what weighted does?
Makes things heavier. Let me double
Okay.
check.
All right.
Wish it had that linked there, but let me find it here.
All right. So we'll say you do that. You definitely do a damage to it.
He should also
and-
have 2 more successes.
Oh,
He's got thermokinesis above.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you have to. So with that, I will say that you can also crit it. So that does another damage to it, if you so desire.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you freeze it. It looks real nasty. It slows it down. And yeah. So then we're gonna have another aberrant attack. One of them falls down from the rafters. From the VARG bay that it's trying to get into, falls down on Logan. So please go ahead and roll your defense, which is once again one of your resilience attributes.
Resilience +2 from the gift,
+2 from
correct?
Taskmaster, yes.
+2 enhancement or dice?
You know what? We're not gonna care about that because it botches.
Yeah, I got 3 successes on my defense.
Yeah, it
so
just face plants right in front of you.
I just kind of look down at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does not look good. Actually, yeah, you and we'll just say for simplicity's sake, it's the one that you just attacked, as it sort of slips and falls and is a thing. So when it falls in front of you and you see all the damage that you've done to it, you see part of that porcelain crack away, and it falls, and like half of its face and some of its arm underneath is exposed, and it's not gruesome or like terrifying. It just looks like someone who's been on like 6 months of chemo. It looks like a cancer patient under there. But that will be another PC turn.
I think I'm the last one who has not gone, actually.
Yes.
So I'm going to.
I haven't, but
Then you go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Yeah.
it's all good. No, I'm super quiet because I'm still learning the system. Everybody, my first time. I assume that we're issued like standard sidearms, correct?
Yeah, you would have a sidearm. If you just want a standard sidearm,
Slug thrower is what I've got, and it's a pretty good standard gun.
Perfect.
It
Yeah,
has.
They don't let you use lasers in space.
Boo.
Well, specifically, it has variable ammo. So if you want to load it with the ammo that's safe to shoot inside of a spaceship, that's non-frangible, and all it does is add the non-penetrating tag to it.
Okay.
So it would be an enhancement to attack, short range, ballistic, with non-penetrating as the operating tag.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would basically roll your aim plus an attribute.
Perfect. Going to. Does the attribute that I roll matter?
As long as it's appropriate to the situation. Like, just tell me the attribute you want to use, and I will say yes or no.
Since I'm been sort of approaching this battle in a very calm and collected way, I'd like to know if I can use intellect, actually, since I'm trying to take it from that perspective.
Sure, sounds good to me. It works for your character.
Excellent. Thank you for letting me use a lot of dice.
Are you aiming at? There's one that's been damaged. The other ones appear to be undamaged. Which are you aiming at? A fresh one or at the damaged one?
What one poses the most danger to a member of this group at this moment?
The one that's damaged looks pretty messed up. It's not totally down, but it looks impaired. The one that probably poses the most damage is probably the one that got up on laughs.
That's the one I'm going to aim at then,
Okay.
because I would like to try to save my compatriot here. The dice have smiled upon me today. A total of 7 dice. That is 6 successes.
Okay, and you have 2 enhancement from your gun,
Mhm.
so that's a total of 8 successes, -3 for their defense.
Of course.
So then, and it has 2 soft armor, so it costs 2 successes to hurt it once,
Okay.
which you can do. And then you have 3 left over. My suggestion to you with those dice
Please.
is to use the pin down stunt, which essentially means that it has to overcome that complication that you're putting on
Yes.
it, i.e., it has to spend its successes. And if it does not overcome that on its next attack roll, it takes an additional damage.
I would like to do that.
Okay, so it is pinned down in addition to the damage that you've already done to it. Okay, then I believe that is not Nigel's go there.
Sorry, Nigel.
No, you're fine. This is I wanted to go last. I will crouch against I'll brace against one wall and just Superman dive straight into the open cockpit of my VARG.
Okay, so you're getting that and starting to activate the VARG. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. We almost go up to the top of the round, but there is one aberrant turn left to go. There is a horrible sound of energy emission and shearing metal as something slices through the station. The lights go off, emergency sirens and klaxons and signals start to go off. There is a pop and a rush of explosive decompression in the station. And the grav crystals that maintain gravity flicker. So there's like a pulse upwards and then a pulse downwards of gravity. So the gravity is unreliable at the moment, but for this round, you still have gravity. And there's also a rush of air coming out. There's a slamming of a bulkhead door, so that there's this basically the sections that can be pressurized or can be prevented from losing pressure do. Luckily, the VARG Bay is one of those. But something real bad just happened from outside the station. We are at the top of the round. Which is an aberrant turn in and of itself. So one is going to be coming after Raphael. So please roll your defense, which is a resilience attribute.
Stamina work for that?
Works well, absolutely.
Do you benefit from your own gift?
Yep. And
Nice.
we all benefit from that gift for the rest of the round.
Is that
For
an
the rest of the
enhancement?
scene.
Does it say it gives you 2 more dice or 2 more enhancement?
It specifically says it's the outwit at half the chess master's reflective facet rounded up to the character's defense.
So it's a flat bonus to defense.
So yes.
That's pretty good.
That's the best possible option.
Yes.
Hey,
So right
Right.
now you're just rolling straight stamina.
Mhm.
yes. 4
4. Okay.
plus the 2. So that would
Plus
be
the
6.
2. Okay, so it does not have enough successes. It can hit you, but doesn't have enough successes to damage you with your armor. Wait a minute, hold on. What is your soft armor in your on your person? If we go with standard battle dress, it's 2.
2.
Which
I think Logan is the only person who's not appropriately decked out
yeah.
yet.
At
Yeah,
the very
I mean,
least, you would have access to standard battle dress.
Standard battle dress.
yeah. So okay, but that goes away because of a tag that it
That's
has.
fine.
Regardless, it does not have enough damage to hit you, but it also pins you down. It basically gets in your face. And next time you try and make an offensive move, you'll have to overcome a 2 dice complication, which we'll address then.
Okay.
So that gets up in your face and kind of pins you to a wall a little bit. Next, we have a PC turn.
I would like to save our little buddy.
Okay.
Can I, once again, I would like to teleport my entire VARG and use the pile bunker on the aberrant that was beating up on the starfish.
Okay, absolutely you can.
Because I don't think I want to open up with the coil gun or the anti-material cannon yet.
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
Not in close quarters.
Hashtag
Please
sentences
no.
that have never been said before.
We do not all need to be chunky salsa in like the first combat here.
I was just thinking about explosive, very explosive decompression. So
Okay.
Yeah, so some of us do not have a way to survive in space.
Well, then you shouldn't be in space.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and make the attack roll with that.
Okay, so normally I would ask to use stamina, but that doesn't really make sense for the VARG, so I'm going to use dexterity. Don't think I have anything that impacts this. Uh, 10 successes with the enhancement.
Okay, and I believe you are acting at an additional scale above it.
Yes,
did you
well,
take that into
I'm
account?
acting at scale too. I don't know if that what its
It-
scale is.
No, it's scale. It's for everything, but using its terrible fist at scale 1.
Then yeah.
So that affects your abilities.
That would make it one more or
Well,
two more.
2 more, yeah. Okay, so with that and its soft armor of 2, which is very negligible to this, does that have any tags that would affect its armor?
Yeah, it has destructive.
Oh yeah, then that makes its armor go away. So you are able to essentially. So how are you destroying this particular aberrant? Because you are destroying this particular aberrant.
So what I would like to do is just do a quick, very short hop out of the bay and put the claw of the Diodata against it, and then just the claw pops out right through it and just retracts and says, "Do you have any classics?"
At this point, I would like you to describe your VARG, please.
So Kwan's Revenge is a mechanized dinosaur of sorts. I mean, it looks like it's a living dinosaur strapped with guns almost, but an alien dinosaur in that it has no eyes. It is a bright cobalt blue. Each of the arms, one of the arms has a folded large gun of some sort underneath it, like a claw, and the other had a claw that is now extended through an aberrant. But the biggest changes up on the shoulders are 2 massive Gatling guns, each one with 2 sets of barrels. And it's probably the smallest VARG here, but it's quick. And it also is a little chameleon-esque. The colors shift, but only slightly.
All right. So that aberrant is popped like zit. So next we have a PC turn. Who would like to go?
Okay, I would like to go if I could.
You can.
As Wu does his attack, Laughs is gonna change the music that they are singing to a version of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, and they are going to go woo woo and spin up
Woo.
onto their VARG. He's specifically saying woo, intending to talk about Wu Caesar, and leap into his VARG, leap into their VARG.
Okay. Yeah.
that's the
So
whole
yeah, you
plan.
do that. You are able to activate it.
Mhm.
And let's have you describe your VARG as it comes online.
Yeah, so Laugh's VARG is unnamed because they see it as kind of an extension of them. It was personally grown for them using the template of the Kraken, which is usually a 6-armed. Theirs is a modified 5-armed VARG that is very squat and short, with these arms that resemble, starfish arms in the way that they're designed. And there are several weapons platforms on it that, again, evoke a starfish in color and design. They're clearly going for a theme that they're leaning into. And it probably only stands about 4 or 5 feet, but it is wide, maybe even 20 or 30 feet wide. It's so big that way. So.
Okay, so you get into your Varg. We have another PC turn.
I'll go ahead and take this one. Seeing as Raphael is pinned, correct? We don't want to flash freeze or flash fry them because that could potentially hurt our friend. So they're going to opt for temperature extremes, which allows me to localize it within the individual person.
Okay.
New toys. I like playing with the new toys.
All right. So temperature extremes, I believe, basically causes indirect damage. So
Yep.
Go ahead and roll your psi plus modes.
That is 5 total successes. They are allowed to resist it on a stamina plus psi mode.
Yeah, well, they don't have either of those. So, but I do roll their desperation pool, which they do, and botch on. So it starts. So are you freezing this thing, or are you heating it up?
Freezing, because that is less likely to cause indirect damage to our ally. They might get a little cold, but there's no chance of them lighting on fire or getting melted aberrant guts on them.
And how many successes did you roll?
5.
Okay, so yeah, you literally crystallize this thing, and like the outer layer of it just sort of like freezes and fragments and falls to dust, and then you see slumping over right in front of you, Raphael, is this like frostbitten person that looks withered and emaciated.
And you just see Logan's head like poking over its shoulder before he starts calmly walking towards his Varg.
Nice.
Thanks.
Okay. So what happens next is there is another terrible sound from outside of the arena, the station, as another lancing blast of quantum energy slices again through it. This time, the Varg Bay takes a direct hit. We're going to let, for dramatic purposes, we are going to let all PCs not in their Vargs scramble through the air and get into their Vargs as the space station opens up. There is a brief data transmission before the station goes completely kaput, as the station SI transmits itself into your Varg, Jude. And like she sort of like pops up in a little display, looking a little frazzled. And you see all of you in your Vargs are exposed to open space, wherein you see a being about the size of a blue whale. It is similar to the aberrant that you were just fighting in that it is perfect porcelain white, but it has the countenance of 2 different people, a man and a woman, fused back to back, and it's just sort of in a terrible parody of a starfish, its limbs kind of like floating out there. Its perfect porcelain face has a crack in it, in a mockery of a human smile, glowing with that purple energy, and its head, both of its hair is on fire. And even through the vacuum of space, it is singing to you in a pitch perfect rendition of a very old classic song called The Origin of Love. And that is where we're going to take a brief pause. All right, so we come back to a destroyed space station. Everyone else is in their VARGs. Jude, please describe your VARG to you as it is floating in space and approaching this whale aberrant.
Sure. It at first glance it seems very plain. It's humanoid in shape, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. But if anyone who is more familiar with VARGs and their customization can see that this has been heavily modified. It has ailerons and like as like the last of the atmosphere wicks away to nothing in the vacuum, little Vernier engines like start to gimbal and orient and fire little bursts of like bright blue plasma to steady him. It has got ailerons for atmospheric flight. It has engines for space flight. And you even see there's like extra cabling and like paneling along the legs, hips, and back for like running ground speed. Anyone amongst the other players who is at all like a gearhead would recognize this as a Kingfisher high mobility variant, or HMV mech. It's got a 7th Legion color scheme, again, sort of the dark space purples and blues, and it's got a rail gun shoulder mounted that's currently stowed against sort of a backpack, and just a giant katana, just a giant slightly curved vibro blade that is in a sheath that is at its waist. It just has a giant fucking sword.
Because of course it does.
Because of course it does.
So Raphael, please describe your VARG to the group.
Raphael's VARG is a lot of sleek lines and slender, like kind of slender but very powerful looking mechanical limbs. For those of you that are more gearhead inclined among the VARG pilots, it's clear that this was possibly grown after or modeled off of one of the Icarus combat assault VARGs. It is, however, very different in and of the fact that it has what appears to be kind of an articulated wing array. It likewise has a fairly large sheathed vibroblade, but the wing arrays, whether or not they provide flight, that's anybody's question at this point. However, they do clearly also provide some support for the smart missile launcher system that the VARG very clearly has. Colors-wise, it is largely in dark colors with accents of gunmetal and crimson.
Sweet. And finally, Logan.
Logan's VARG, from the waist up, almost looks humanoid. It's covered with some chitinous armor, nothing too fancy, but underneath it you can see veins of this deep purple material going around, and on its back there sits some small, almost pixie-like wings. And for its legs, it has the sort of reverse jointed legs you would see on Werewolves in Krynos form, for those of you who are Werewolf the Apocalypse fans, or, you know, typical of anthropoidal animals. It's got that reverse jointed, weird looking legs designed for jumping and leaping. And right now it doesn't look like it's obviously armed with anything. It doesn't display any weaponry.
All right. So when you see this image, this gigantic beast with 2 backs, or 1 back really, 2 fronts, aberrant, is floating out in space. It seems to be turning from the station, like turning its gaze from you. And Jude, you get a pop up from the SI, and she says, the transport's coming in. You have to protect it. And there's like a little like zoom in on your reticle where you see this like small ship that is burning in fast towards where the station used to be, and says, "It's vital. That's how you'll get to the staging area."
So yeah, like we all have a little tag on our HUDs of like, protect the Burger Town, we all have a little HUD light up thing describing the objective, I guess. Yeah.
So it seems to be turning its gaze out to space, and it does not seem to regard you very well. But we have a PC turn to go. Who would like to take first crack at this monster?
I would.
Okay.
And keying like the broadcast mic for the radio broadcast for everyone, Jude will cry out, "VARG Force Salvation, attack!" and will launch forward full thrust, drawing his sword as he attacks for a essentially a drive-by slash.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your close combat.
You can't start with a sword.
Oh no, I'm versatile.
Some mechanics notes here. Since you're in your VARG, you have a base scale, power and durability scale of 2. So just to note that. Does this sword have anything else that would increase its scale?
It is, in terms of equipment, let me pull it up. It is VARG scale. It has the scale, it has the tag VARG scale. It is also brutal, deadly, destructive 2, and like melee and 2-handed.
Okay, but it's not.
But no,
heavy.
it'd be hitting it scale 2.
Yeah, it'd be hitting at scale 2. The VARG scale tag really means that applies extra scale to human size opponents.
Okay.
So yeah, you are rocking scale 2 at the moment.
Okay.
In terms of your power. Okay, so yeah, that is going to be that. I will let you know. I will let everyone know this aberrant. Especially, this aberrant is operating at corruption 6, and I will say for laughs, you're immediately able to detect this as a Tarot scale aberrant.
Okay. I would like to use dexterity as my
Sure.
as my stat.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is kind of more like a finesse, like drive-by, like precision slash. So the sword itself gives me, there's 5 enhancement on it. My dice pool is 9, and I don't have anything else that is applicable, I don't think, in terms of like skill tricks or specialties. Nope. Okay. Oh, thank God. I see at least 1 9. 1 success plus 5 enhancement that is 6. And does power scale factor into the number of successes I get?
Not this moment, because it has durability scale 4.
Okay.
Meaning that you are 2 under it, so that increases the difficulty to hit it by 2. Its defense is 5. So, what tags did it have on that?
I've got brutal, deadly, destructive 2, melee 2-handed, and VARG scale.
Okay, so with the destructive tag, which takes 2 away from its soft armor, that means that you basically have 0 successes to play around on this thing. However, now that its soft armor is 0, you can damage it once.
Okay, so
all she wrote.
Cinematically,
Mm-hmm.
It's this beautiful, graceful arc through space. Like the engines twist in just the right way to bring him around, so that it's the striking angle is perfect. It's the single Eido strike to, I'm gonna say, probably the soft part of the neck, or what would be the soft part of a neck for anything that wasn't the size of a blue whale and made out of porcelain. And very dramatically, it's just kind of sparks off the edge, and Jude will swear over the open calmly, "This thing is tough."
Challenge accepted.
All right. We have another PC turn to go. Who would like to take a shot? Okay.
So, what I would like Laughs to do is to scuttle out into jumping from thing to thing, trying to grapple this aberrant that we are dealing with.
Okay. You
I
are
want-
just close enough, I would say, to be able to jump there. Go ahead and make that shot.
Okay. I am just triple checking a couple of things to make sure I'm doing them right, because I have a bunch of edges about grappling things. And I was reviewing them, and now I can't find the thing I just need to read. Okay. So I am doing this cunningly. I know I can just guess where on its arms and legs and various other points on its body would distract it enough to
It is
get
this
it.
is size 4, by the way.
I understand.
Yeah, no, I'm just if that matters.
Yep. I am probably not great at grabbing its various pieces, but I am trained at grabbing its various pieces too.
Noted.
So trying my best. All right, I have a lot of dice. So, okay. So I got 3 successes. I am also using 5-fold grappling martial arts, which should give me, if I succeed, 3 enhancement on a complicate action against them.
Okay. So you have 3 successes
Mhm.
to hit. Its defense is 5. So I
Okay,
do
probably not then.
Yeah, I do not think you're able
Mhm.
to get a hold on this thing.
Okay.
It's just too ungainly. It's too big and weird shaped for you to try and like grab onto a vital spot. But that does mean that you get momentum for whomever's tracking that. Oh, that's remind you. You guys do have momentum.
Oh, I'm aware.
Which
Oh,
Oh yeah.
add extra dice and whatnot, but I will click on a momentum there. All right, so there'll be another PC term after that. So you kind of go, you fail to get hold on it. Fortunately, you did not botch, in which case I would be able to do the spinny out into space
Right.
funny thing. But no,
So-
you're still hovering in that area. So who likes to do
Laughs is at least like laughing while they are trying to gain purchase on this
You knew that would
thing.
fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone mind if I take a shot?
I actually would like to take the next PC slot, if I may.
You may.
I would like to spend a point of inspiration story guide, and I would like to use the bigger they are.
Absolutely, you can do that. So that will, that you can bring that online, which will have an effect on scale, and that
you.
you would still have an action to go.
And having activated that, I would like to. Is there a visible? So you said it's like 2 faces, correct?
Yeah, it's 2 faces, like fused from like the back of the head down to the buttocks area.
Excellent. I would like to use my Viper blade and lunge forward with thrusters, and in true properly trained fencing, with true properly trained fencing finesse, I would like to attempt to go straight for one of the eyes on one of the faces with my Viper blade.
Make me a close combat roll.
So if you do want to utilize any momentum, it's a pool of floating dice that we all have
Yes.
access to. As we botch, we fill it. So
We
Okay.
fail, we fill it.
Yeah, you fail,
Okay.
and failing increases it by 1. Botching it infills it by 2.
yes, sorry.
Okay, so
So-
for this, it is close combat plus any attribute that should apply.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. And what momentum are we at?
We
have
are
a
currently
handy
at
dandy sheet.
six momentum.
Okay, so I can add that.
Well, as you add, you take dice away. So
Okay.
Well, you
usually in past games, we usually ask how much the party is willing to give up. So like,
Yeah, well,
if you want to take 2 or 3, go ahead.
Any expenditure of momentum has to be approved by the table.
I will bring it up to all of you at the table then. The bigger they are, I am essentially for this scene, I am on the same scale as what we were fighting.
Only
for
you
this
or
action.
all of us?
Only me.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it because
That's just for this. That's just for this turn,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's only for this turn, unfortunately. It's just the scale difference between me and my opponent for 1 round. So it allows me to ignore the rule that says I have no effect against opponent with a scale difference of 3 or greater.
I'm fine with giving them 4.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
How much do we have?
6.
He can only take 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then 3.
3 it is. If you all are okay with that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, as long as you take
Perfect.
3.
Yes.
The more you know.
Or we'll 2-person monster instead of the
I've got to
star.
re-roll 2 because I had 2 10s in there. So
Nice.
Ooh, exciting.
another. Yet
Just
another
keep
10.
exploding.
They just keep exploding. Okay.
Yep.
Also, for if it ever comes up,
Considering the 3 10s that I have now had to re-roll, that is a total of 8 successes on that.
Nice.
you can
Oh.
spend momentum if you fail, or even if you just want to really be a jerk after you hit.
Well, you have to for any dice rolls, you have to choose when you spend them. Either you spend it before the roll or after the roll. So you have 8 successes. How much enhancement does your weapon provide you?
Vibroblade is 5.
Yes.
5. Okay, so that is 13 successes. So were you what exactly does bigger you are do to scale?
We're on the same scale.
Okay,
It just
so you're on the-
doubles.
okay.
Yeah, we
so-
equalize the scale and it removes the rule that we can't affect things that are 3 ranges bigger than us. But for
Okay,
the
then.
purpose of this attack, I and this thing are effectively on the same size.
Awesome. Great. So it has a defense of 5. So minus that from your success pool.
Okay.
What tags does your weapon have?
Hard bite 2, incendiary 2, massive explosive, ranged 3.
Are you sure that's the Vibroblade?
That is
That's-
probably the missiles.
No, that shouldn't be it because that's what
You have the
Might
vibroblade
have
or the
been.
plasma sword.
I know. That's what I thought. I had copied it right from the book, but you know what? I'm on that part of the book anyway.
Also, just a reminder.
There
for
we go.
anyone who has
There we go.
the-
Now I copied the wrong thing. Brutal, deadly, destructive, 2, melee, 2-handed.
Okay, so destructive takes away its soft armor. So
Okay.
so you are able to hurt it once. You definitely have enough successes to crit it because you have brutal. And so that is going to be 4. Yeah, that's going to be 5 minus that. So I think you had a total of 13 successes.
Yes.
So you have 5 successes left to go. If there are any melee stunts you would like to apply after you have damaged it the most that you can damage it.
I'm not certain what the melee stunts are right off the top of my head, but I'm
Let's-
interested.
Take a look.
If I can stagger it something or render it
Can you
having
knock down in
difficulty.
space?
right. I was gonna say I don't think that I can pin or knock down something in 0 gravity, but
Yeah, that is a little difficult.
So close combat strike. The stunts you can inflict are inflict damage, bind, break up grapple, critical, disarm, establish grapple, feint, knock down or trip, seize, shove, and sunder.
Okay, so I think feint would probably be the best one. For every
Mhm.
success on the feint, you generate enhancement on your ally, you or your ally's next attack against the opponent you're attacking.
Got it.
So essentially, you can throw up 5 enhancement up to the next attacker.
Perfect. I will do
Uh,
that.
Okay, there is another PC turn
Is it-
online.
Anyone want to go, or else I'll take it.
Are you planning on hurting it very bad?
I'm planning on hurting it as badly as I can.
I'm cool with you going.
Actually, you know what? I am going to spend the 2 corruption for an action interrupt.
Fuck.
And I am going to do a terrible thing. Let's see. You've got 2. Trying to think. So we've got 2 people who have gotten up on it. Well, 3 people who have gotten up on it. Meaning we have 2 people kind of left over in the debris field. It is going to open up the area in between its 2 chests, where like 2 of its limbs come down and reach and like wrench open this hole in its midsection, out of which comes this boiling blast that comes towards the 2 of you that have yet to get up on it. It is going to attempt to zap you 2 using the beam attack.
All right, I am going
It's a
to.
fire and it's laser.
Yep.
I'm gonna blink.
Okay. Keep in mind that you are at a +2 difficulty because it uses mode analog spatial integrity.
Well, that's not very nice.
It's not very nice, but that's a thing that's happened. So yeah, I will say that it's attacking you first. You have a durability scale of 2. It has a power scale of 5. So 9, 13.
Does this still count as the same scene effectively for
Yes, it does.
chess masters? So you still also have 2 then for defense.
Yep.
That is such a good power.
All right. So let me know what your
Tried.
total defense is.
Uh, 9.
9. Holy shit. Okay. And what is your soft?
Exploded.
Nice. What is your soft armor?
4.
4. Okay. So it lances a blast at you, but you blink out of the way just in time, and it barely grazes the side of your VARG, doing no damage. That's a real good defense roll. But it is also, its blast also covers the area where Logan is. So please, Logan, roll your defense.
Okay. That is
And roll a
always
separate
fun.
roll for it.
All right. Let me get back to all my right pages here. Got a billion books open.
Mhm.
Don't have anything special adding defense to it. So should just be that is only a single success.
Okay. So you have a defense total of 3 with the bonus from Chess Master. Okay. So what is your soft armor?
My soft armor. Now, does armor expert apply to the VARG?
Yes.
Is that what it? Okay, so that'll increase it by 1. So it'd make it 4.
4. Okay, fantastic. So I have a big old pile of successes to deal with here. So it is definitely going to damage you 3 times, just straight up. Which that takes it first. It's going to hit your VARG's hard armor. So how many of that did it take away?
Varg's hard armor is 3.
3. So yeah, your Varg's hard armor gets burned away. Then it is going to critical you. So it has enough to do that. So that is going to do a damage condition. It's going to be a bruise condition to your Varg.
Okay.
Which Vargs have special injury conditions.
You have grounded, limping, short circuit, and uncalibrated.
I will say that it has a short circuit injury condition. So that is a -1 complication to any attempts to utilize the Varg sensors.
Oh yeah, we all have. Is anyone not in a tactical Varg?
I am not
No,
in the
I'm-
tactical Varg. I'm in a support Varg.
I don't even remember what special ability for any of them are, but each class does have a special ability that is unique to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So it does take that level of damage on the Varg. All right. And so that will be another PC turn.
Now I will shoot the
There
guy.
you go.
And don't forget, you now have 5 enhancement on an attack.
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, so as the beam sort of sends me, does it impact force?
No, it just barely grazed you. So if you want it to have affected your physical momentum, it could have.
Yeah, I would like to spin. Spin around and
That's a good trick. Sorry.
Beat me to it.
as the Diata is moving through space, it's slowly turning black and star colored and also bright purple as it tries to keep up with the light show. But he's gonna pull off flip out rather, the very simple but very, very large rifle and just put a shot, quote unquote, downrange at the feller.
All right. Knew nothing of love. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make that shot.
All right, let's see. We
Uh,
are
what is
not
your-
outnumbered.
What is the power? What is your power scale for this attack?
3.
3. Okay. So it's only 1 scale above you.
That's why I'm using my big gun.
We got big guns and we got big guns, but I'm afraid we're all out of big ammo.
Okay, so with mine and the successes from our talent friend, I have 13.
13 hit successes. Okay, so it has a 6 defense. So that knocks it down to 9. Hey, hold on, right on that. No, that's not right. 7 successes to play around with. It has a soft armor of 2. Does your weapon have destructive or any?
It actually, this one only has piercing.
Only has piercing. Okay, so it has a soft armor of 1. So it costs 1 to damage it. So I'm assuming you're going to do that.
Yes.
Okay, and then does it have brutal?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 3 more to critical it.
And I don't have any other tags that are applicable. So
Right, so you have 4 more successes to play around with.
it feels weird to pin it down because I can't fire this gun next turn.
Okay,
So-
yeah, fair enough.
Uh,
Just want to throw it up to defense or an enhanced stunt.
yeah, I'm going to throw up a enhancement to our Legionnaire who has not attacked yet.
Sure. Okay, yeah, so you'll throw up an enhance, which you cannot, I believe you cannot use that on the same skill. So
He can.
Oh, he can? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if I enhance myself, I can't use it on the same skill.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, so it's just four general enhancement up to the next attack. But we do have another PC round to go. Who wants it?
I think I'm the only person who hasn't gone yet.
I believe so.
So still recoiling from basically getting melted and imagining, sparks and shit in the cockpit. They're going to have to activate their unique ability to generate a weapon. Because that's what I can do. I make weapons.
I love that VARG.
I saw it and I was like, that's too fitting. So what I'm going to have them create, spending my 3 side points for it, is a particle. I can't do the nukes. You can't make a fusion. You can't make a fusion missile launcher, but I can make a particle cannon.
All right.
That sounds cool enough.
That uses enough wacky electromagnetic force that I'm comfortable calling that nuke adjacent.
Sure. All right. So yeah, blast him. Fire your laser.
All right.
No, he didn't make a laser.
I mean, particle cannon.
Particle cannon, laser. It still should hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Is he stripping electrons off of hydrogen?
So what tags?
be.
Does it have anything that will increase its power scale?
So the particle cannon has destructive 2, electric, explosive, ranged, VARG scale, major only. So it doesn't have anything that will really affect its scale.
Okay. Major might do something.
Major, it might get 1 extra enhancement.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So
Is
you're
he within
going
range for the particle cannon?
Yeah, it's in range of the particle cannon.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll your aim. Make an aim roll.
1 second. Let me double check the pool. I'm going to be using Dex with that. So it'll be a pool of 9. So that's 6 successes plus 1 from variable gravity combat training.
Okay.
So 10.
10
Is it nine?
successes. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said it had destructive, right?
Destructive 2.
Okay. That's how much the tag costs.
Oh,
So yeah.
I know sometimes they have a level 1 and a level 2. So that's
yeah. I try and keep abreast of what all the tags mean and what the things, but yeah, that just means that how much that tag costs. So you have 10 successes to play around with. Okay, so that means that you are able to damage it once, which I'm assuming you'll want to do.
yes.
But you don't have much. Did you take into account the enhancement from Woo?
Oh, I did not. How many was that?
4.
4.
I think.
4.
Okay.
So that would have made it 14 total.
14 total, which means you're able to critical it as well. Good job.
Do you have brutal on that?
No, I don't think he had brutal.
It does not have brutal.
All right, but that accounts for the remaining successes. So you were able to damage it twice in a blast of spontaneously generated particle cannon. Okay, that's going to be another PC turn.
Back at the top.
Hold on, has everybody acted?
Yeah, I should
Okay, so everyone's acted. So that means actually it's an aberrant turn. So
I mean, shit. Wait.
So it is going to reach out one of its terrible limbs, right in front of it where Raphael's VARG is. It's going to reach up and attempt to grapple you. So go ahead and roll your defense, please.
Obey me, folk. Thank you. Adobe was being a jerk for a minute here.
Oh, did you want that open? I'm sorry. I don't feel like it.
No, I don't feel like it. You can't read your sheet. You don't need to do this. You should grow up and do things like laundry. Sorry.
This is hitting a deep and personal nerve for you.
Right? With my own chess master, that's 7.
7 successes. That's very
Yes.
good. Hold on, I need to look up a thing real quick. Need to make, because if it can't grapple you, it can't do something terrible to you.
I mean, I would prefer that. I would like to not have terrible things done to me.
All right, so it has 5 enhancement, so it has rolled 8. Total of 7. It does get its hands on you. So this terrible porcelain hand grabs you around the midsection. And I am going to use another mode analog power, costing me some corruption. Okay, and what is your stamina?
My stamina is 5.
5. That is a very good thing that it is 5. So it is going to roll its corruption. It's attempting to use mode analog morbidity.
Doesn't
Is that?
sound good.
It doesn't.
It sounds
sound
bad.
Morbin time.
good. It is in fact Morbin time.
You get
Um,
1. You get 1.
I just
I actually
go
had
to
a
your
player
room.
use-
Go to your room.
Is he using it on him or the VARG?
Currently the VARG, but we'll use its stats.
I had a player use it on a VARG once. They were very proud of themselves.
Okay. So it does successfully activate morbidity. However, you get to roll your stamina plus your power stat to attempt to resist the terrible effect,
Okay.
which would instantly kill your VARG, but
How dare you?
Indeed.
I actually.
so this is going to be your inspiration plus stamina.
Okay, I've got. That's my inspiration remaining right now. So
No, it's not your inspiration remaining. It's your
That's my
total
total inspiration.
stat.
Which should be 3 or 4.
It should, I think it's 4.
I spent for more. So it's a bit higher.
Oh, right. We had XP. So
Yeah. Getting dice that I can easily read really quick. Because if this doesn't work, I'm about to have to do negotiating with Scott. That is a real. Would my defense bonus still apply or no?
No, it would not apply in this
Okay.
instance.
That is 4. So depending on what you rolled, I may have something I have to do here.
I would suggest doing whatever you can.
I would like to spend a point of inspiration to engage in some dramatic editing.
Okay. You can do that. Also, you could, before you do that, you could spend some momentum to
Okay.
try and get more dice on that particular roll. But either option is available to you.
he could
I'm
also
fine
spend
with-
momentum to get scale
That's true.
as a talent. I don't know if that'll help him, but
I don't since I'm grabbed by it. Technically, I don't think it would. I would like to go ahead and do some dramatic editing to just manage to wriggle out of its grasp. I'm still right there at hand.
Unfortunately, that is not the kind of thing that dramatic
Okay.
editing deals with. It's more like circumstances and
Okay.
the like. It doesn't allow you to directly
That's cool.
change the result of a dice roll, essentially.
Okay.
So what I would recommend is spending, with the party's permission, as much of the momentum as you can. So that would be the
Okay, and we
remaining
have how
3
much
momentum.
momentum left?
Wouldn't we have gotten one for me failing that defense roll
Yes.
and getting like basically murdered?
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to how many momentum are folks okay with me spending?
I'm fine with you spending up to the maximum of 3.
Go for it.
Okay. This was a worthy decision, guys. Because that was a total of 4 more successes courtesy of the 10.
4 more successes. Okay, so what that allows you to do is
Not die.
Not die.
a terrible rush of tainted, corrupted energy runs through your VARG. Just the internal systems start to fail and burst, leaving you at maimed. So basically, all of your health boxes, except for the last one that would leave you taken out, are filled. So the Barg is barely functional, but still alive. So if some bad shit's happening. Then there's a PC turn.
May I?
Go for it.
Gonna scream in rage because I wasn't able to protect my friend. Who does he look dead?
The Varg, it's like twitching in space as this terrible like rush of corruptive energy just flows through it. Inside, you're fine, but just alarm signals. And
Oh, I am cursing in a few different languages at once here.
Going to spin up the old coil gun cannons and let loose, and then use a little trick that I learned from my martial arts mentor and use Death of 1,000 Cuts. So that means I will self-enhance.
Okay. This is still at power scale 3, right?
No, this one's a 2.
2? Okay.
My power scale 3 weapon has extreme force. That's how it got to 3.
Gotcha.
Okay, so 6 enhancement. I think that's a total of 14 with destructive.
Okay, with destruction. So that means you have 7 successes to hurt it, which I'm assuming you're going to hurt it once, credit.
I'm gonna check to see if I have brutal. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, what I do is I begin just firing, but each bullet, as it goes through it, teleports back out and then goes through it again at a different angle.
Nice.
Several
That's hot.
100 times. Shredding it nicely.
Okay, and since you have brutal, that means you have 4 successes to play around with after that.
Pin down.
Pinned down. Absolutely, it is pinned down. Okay, next PC turn.
I want to pitch an idea that I'm curious if I can do based on lots of logistics. So there are other Vargs near me.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any remnants of the station that we were on near me?
Sure.
Okay. So what I would like to do is either use a fellow Varg or the station as a pivot point to use the support Varg power lifter ability to slam the aberrant into the hull of the space station.
Okay.
So I'm trying to throw an object, the object being the aberrant, using all of those things that I said I was going to do.
Yeah, do it.
Cool. Let's.
I don't think the tactical VARG ability could work right now. It creates cover by shooting up the environment.
Right.
Well, I mean, no, it could. You would essentially be destroying bits of the station such that they litter the field.
Okay. So Scott, I have the equivalent of I think 4 scale
Okay.
for throwing an object using the power lifter thing. So
Okay.
Um,
So that would put you at even scale.
okay. Then I got 4 successes.
Okay. Plus any enhancement.
I don't think so, but I don't know if I could get enhancement from any of the various like cognitive awareness things I have with clairsentience, like spatial awareness stuff, and or my grappling martial arts.
I mean,
Well, if it's an attack, you always have 1 enhancement unless something takes it away.
So at least 1 enhancement.
leaves 1 enhancement. So you hit its difficulty.
Okay.
So yeah, I will say that you are able to slam it into it, doing 1 damage. But
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
It's just supposed to kind of disorient it, get it out of the direct.
yep,
you know.
that'll do it. All right, next PC. Who wants to go?
How close is the transport?
The transport is getting pretty close. It is, you've got like you've gotten a message from its pilot that says like, still on approach unless I should divert.
How many rounds is it going to take for it to get here?
It will be here next round.
How beat up does the aberrant look?
It actually, yeah, like there is many cracks in its porcelain thing. You see just like terrible writhing, like half physical, half energetic purple goo leaking out from its insides. It is actually looking pretty messed up.
Okay, let me check a skill trick real quick. I might like to go, but I want to make sure it does what I think it does. Okay, yeah, I'm going to, I would like to go. If no one else wants to.
Go for it. Do it.
My last attack was sort of the drive-by slash. So I'll say that my lowercase m momentum has carried me kind of past it. So quickly I sheathe the sword and the railgun pops out like from the back and just sights down. And I want to make I want to shoot it. Yeah, I want to shoot it. So
Do you a shoot?
I do a shoot. 2, 4, 6 with dexterity. Is there any other enhancement on this? The gun itself gives me enhancement, I know. But I don't think there is anything else. I don't think superior processing gives me anything. No, wrong book, psionics. Sorry.
Too many books open.
Too many books open. Nah, that book doesn't. Okay, making an attack roll. Oh, thank God. I see a 10 and a 9 and another 10. That's 3 successes so far. Okay, 3 successes plus 5 for the gun. Total of 8 to hit.
What does it have any tags on it?
The gun is my VARG scale rail gun, or coil gun, sorry. So automatic 2, destructive 2, hard point 2, major ranged VARG scale.
Okay, so it is still acting at +2 power scale.
Yes.
So it has a 7 defense. How many successes did you roll?
8.
8. Okay, so it does have destructive, so its soft armor goes away. So you have just enough to do a damage to it.
Okay, I will do so.
Right, and it is looking like its integrity is starting to like boil away, and like the smile is starting to like crackle away until it is mostly purple writhing energy goo.
And
It's lost its sort of any semblance of a dual humanoid form.
I'll key out over the mic. We have to kill it now. The transport will be here in a few seconds.
So there's another PC turn. Actually, there isn't another PC turn. I'm going to burn 2 more corruption and get an action interrupt.
Son of a bitch.
Gosh, dang it, Bobby.
Let's see. Let's look at the battlefield. So you've just sort of slammed past it. It is going to target the last thing that attacked it with a full-on beam attack. As just like energy starts to leak out of it in a very unorganized fashion, lashes out at you as a whip of purple goo energy.
Purple goo energy, my only weakness.
Oh no!
Gross. 0 out of 10. Don't recommend.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Dodge.
So it is operating at a 5 power scale to your 2 durability scale. So that is going to be 6 plus 6, 12. Or roll your defense, please.
I will. I'm gonna use again composure because it's the most I got.
It is pinned down.
It is pinned down. That is true.
Does that give me any defensive?
No, it has to
bonus?
buy off
It has to
Okay,
buy off.
complication or
successes.
take an injury.
How much pinned down is that, by the way?
4.
4. Okay, noted. Okay, that's pretty good actually.
I have 1 success on the roll itself, plus the 2 enhancement from the gift.
Defense.
So that's 3. My defense is 2, so that's total of 5.
No. Okay. Your defense.
What does the gift give me?
the gift?
It
Defense.
says it gives you 2.
gives you
2
2 defense. So your native defense is 2.
Yes.
4.
So you have
So
4.
now it's 4, and I just rolled 1 success on my
So
on
your
my
defense,
defense roll.
defense total is 5. That is
Okay.
noted. Okay. So what is your soft armor?
The VARG soft armor is 2.
2. Okay. So it has enough to buy off the complication and do 1 damage to you.
Okay,
Well, that's better than 4 damage.
Yeah.
then that's
Me.
going to come off the VARG's hard armor.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, so that's going to be another PC turn.
I think I'm the only one who hasn't gone this round.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
I don't know if I went.
No-
I don't actually
knowing
think I
we
went
need
this
to-
round either.
Oh yeah.
But
okay,
you
so-
go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing this thing needs to die and it needs to die now. Through the garbled message that I received because my scanners and senses and stuff are all messed up still. They're actually going to trade out their particle cannon for something with just a little bit more kick. And in fact, swap it for a major lightning cannon.
Okay.
That's
That's always fun.
Yes, the big boom. It gives me more damage. So you're just gonna watch as like their arm, the cannon that was attached to it, basically causing the arm to be locked straight. It kind of like melds back into it, into those veins that were running out of it, and then a new, really mean looking thing comes out. And that is going to be. Un momento, let me roll my dice here. That is going to be 5 plus the 6 enhancement from that. So that's 11, 12 successes for dabblage.
12 successes. Okay. Did that have the heavy tag on it?
It does not have heavy. It has beam, electrical, focusable.
Okay.
Uh,
It doesn't have
hard
heavy.
point
That's what
major.
I'm worried about. So it has 7 defense against you. So that is going to be, is it 14 successes?
Yep.
Okay, so then it has 7. Does it have destructive?
It does not have destructive.
Okay, so you have more than enough successes as this like blast of electric energy comes out towards it, just boring through its central core. All of the porcelain shatters away into like space dust, and then this like ball of purple energy. I am going to spend in its last dying moments 2 more corruption to form an action interrupt as it activates its warp ability. A massive bleeding purple hole in space starts to open up as this thing loses its spatial integrity. Cesar, you feel that teleportational dampening static fade away. As this bleeding hole in space opens up, and a hand comes out from it, like grabbing the edge of the warp as it starts to pull something massive through. The transport zooms in, coming like not slowing down anything, and emanating from it, those of you with psi awareness of psi feel a massive pulse of psi energy as telekinetic tendrils reach out, grabbing each of your vargs, and you all get pulled away from the area. And you hear a voice as it, you all begin to hear a voice in your heads operating. Hold on tight, I'm operating the teleportational helm. As this massive being pulling itself into the orbit of Jupiter starts to like, it just one eye starts to manifest itself through the warp. There is a noetic wave that encompasses all of you, and you are jerked away from this moment in space and time. There's this sort of hazy awareness of time vaguely taking place. As the psionic senses of those who are active feel a little disoriented, but then suddenly this transport, still barreling through space, momentum conserved, enters into a pure field of stars. It is empty space surrounding you, and you feel no presence of aberrants. You feel nothing around for many kilometers in space, and the transport engages its after thrusters, slowly comes to a crawl as your vargs get sort of pulled up to these docking ports, allowing you all to disengage and get into the very small kind of shuttle area where you can address one another, and finally in a moment of calm.
First thing Laughs does is spin around and go, high fives, everybody!
Cesar jumps out and just sort of snarls at him. Sorry. The VARG gets angry. They're working on it.
Low 5, Cesar?
Low 5.
I'll go in for a high 5. Why not?
Woo!
Raphael will get out of his VARG and immediately just start inspecting it. It is very clear that he is extremely attached to his VARG.
Yeah. So to clarify your situation, your vargs are essentially docked to this shuttle. So you basically came in through an airlock. There's no way to physically access it. It's not like in a bay or anything. It's basically like psionically tethered to it.
Then I will be literally like trying to see out anything.
Yeah. The majority of the interior of this shuttle is filled up with this like biotech construct that appears to be like pushing out this telekinetic force that is holding your vargs to it. And you guys see sort of in this sort of cockpit area, you see a humanoid figure that does not look human in the slightest. It's sort of more sculpted into the form of a human than anything else, and it has sort of teal and purple coloring. It opens its eyes and says, "Hello. That was a rather intense situation. I am Indigo Void Dancer. I am the pilot of your transport. Greetings. Welcome to my ship."
Thanks for saving our asses.
Guard
Did you-
for salvation.
Did you do the teleport?
It lifts a hand. It points over to the teleportational helm in the cockpit area. I
Is
was
somebody
able-
wearing it?
It's a little bit more advanced. It's like I was able to activate it. It had coordinates embedded into it.
I see. Does this vessel have the capacity to host an SI?
Yes, indeed, it does. There is a hard. I'm assuming you're talking about a hard tech AI SI. There is a terminal there.
I'll key my suit's radio to the Kingfisher. I don't know if I got your name, but would you like to inhabit something a bit more roomy?
Yes, please. And there's a data transference. It's like yes. We didn't have time for introductions. I am called Misoko. And yes, thank you. Yes, this is a bit more roomy. She pops up in virtual and says, "Is everyone okay? Is everything fine? Are we away from Earth space?"
Yeah, where are we?
If anyone would like to roll an attunement roll to figure
I
that sort of thing out.
Think that's what spatial sense can auto tell me. Which is why I asked, but if it doesn't
Well,
automatically
at the
tell me
very
that,
least, you should know how far away you are from like anything you have a noetic connection to, like the Prometheus chamber.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to tell them how far we are away from Ruan's world, which isn't what they needed to know. But
Yeah.
well, actually, no, I can tell them how far I am from Alpha Centauri,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. You are roughly 5,000 light years away from any one of those points.
Yeah.
I botched on a psycholocation orientation roll.
Nice.
Like as you guys are like sensing out, it says we are currently at a point in the interstellar void. We are not near any particular solar system. Misoko speaks up. It's like, yes, I do have all of your mission briefing data, although I'm not particularly skilled at public speaking. I'm sorry, I'm more of a logistical assistant. But I can, while we are getting to the staging area, I can provide you with your mission data, if that is amenable to all of you.
Please do.
It says like,
Yeah,
so
sure.
we are approaching well, it is a very unique staging area that has been provided to us by one of humanity's recent allies. It is an entity known as the Creche, and they have provided a planetoid for use in our operation. It is very hard to describe, but I understand it is something of a child of that entity. I know very little about it. That's above my clearance level. I only know the basics of it, but it is a psionically active planetoid that will provide a number of services, including repair facilities for your VARG. I see that those are in need.
Indeed.
So yes, once there, it will provide access to the recently discovered home system or headquarter system of our enemy, the colony. We have been recently blessed with the successful reconnaissance mission by two scions who are unfortunately died in the service of humanity, but they were able to provide the information necessary to locate this system. It is the Vega system, where it has set up shop. Previously, we did not believe it to have any planets, but there are apparently planets there now. And the staging area will provide access to that system while not directly threatening any human or allied worlds. Once there, your mission is simple, but I doubt simple to accomplish. You are there to locate the most ideal spot for the activation of a very advanced piece of bioware that will push away for a brief moment the corruptive disruption and allow clairsentients from Earth to focus their attention and glean vital tactical data that will provide humanity the means that it will need to strike back at the colony at its home facility before it can marshal its forces and attack Earth. The device in question is in the cargo bay of this vessel. So absolutely, that is one of your priorities, to protect it while you discover the right place to implant it. We will be about an hour of travel time before we reach the staging area, if my telemetry is correct. So if you have any questions or anything you wish to do in that time, I will be available to you. Please, you are doing a great thing for humanity, I am told.
Out of play, this is a transport shuttle. Does it have anything in the way of amenities? Like, does it have rooms?
It is very cramped.
Is this a chin shuttle?
No, this is a human. This is a Banshee hardtech shuttle that has a lot of bioware in it.
Okay.
So there's probably like a bathroom, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there is essentially there's a cockpit area, there's a passenger area, and most of the cargo space is taken up by this like telekinetic carrier system.
Is that the device, or is the device somewhere within it?
No, it is in a separate cargo bay, a secured cargo bay, which you guys have access to. When you go, if you want to go check it out, it is roughly the size of a compact car. It's kind of ovoid with very delicate looking like vein-like structures covering it. It has kind of a stand that it rests on.
So something that one of our VARGs could carry if it needed to.
Yeah, it is. You could football carry it.
Okay. With like sort of like the immediate like need of the mission seen to and secured, I'm going to go. Jude will go sit down in the passenger area and just like fall into a seat and just let out a very exhausted sound.
You good?
Just, that was a lot. And I was tired before that all started, and now I'm just exhausted. I'm fairly certain the 7th Legion has that thing handled back in Seoul, but do we have a means to communicate back with Earth?
No, not in the current moment.
How quickly do you need them to know something?
The mission profile did provide someone who has capacity of going back to Earth, but it is advised that you keep such trips to a minimum. We do not wish to. It appears that we were compromised at the facility. That's the only real explanation for why we were so directly attacked. I don't have any data on what exactly happened, but I believe the mission data did say that there was suspicion that agents of the colony, cultists of the aberrants, were getting close to the mission and its data, but we don't know how deeply we've been compromised.
Raphael will go to take a seat and just remark, so probably for sake of OPSEC, running Comdark is ideal right now.
Agreed. Raphael, are you able to work with, is it Nisoko or Nisako?
Nisoko.
Raphael, can you work with Nisoko and see what, if any, data you can pull out of our VARGs on what happened at the station?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem.
So my name's Cesar. I don't think we actually said hi.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Sorry.
Things came up.
I'm Flight Lieutenant Jude Fletcher. You can refer to me as Flight Lieutenant or Lieutenant if brevity is in need. Yeah, that's me.
Laugh starts loudly humming Hey Jude.
Yes,
I
thank
like
you.
that song. Rafael Alvarez Castillo. I'm a Gamma operative.
And
we all looked to James's character.
24601.
Former Staff Sergeant Logan McCall.
Former nothing, friend Logan. Former nothing.
From an official standpoint, Scott, was his rank reinstated as part of his reactivation?
It was reinstated, yes.
I'll say that. Does he know that?
Yeah, he knows that.
Okay. There's no need for that, Staff Sergeant. Your rank has been restored.
But my faith hasn't. You be a decent person once, and they sentence you to prison.
Well, now you have a suicide mission, so that's not
Suicide? No, I've seen the future, and success is all in the cards for us. Maybe.
Actually, Laughs, give me an attunement roll.
Blood, fire, death, screams. We are fine.
Oh, no successes.
That's good enough, though.
Are you sure he's psionically active?
Yeah, you're psionically active. As you're like thinking about like your general sense of the future, you become aware, like now that you're like one step away from it, you become aware of a big black wall in your awareness. Like, yeah, you generally have an idea of what's about to happen. When you think about, the next couple of weeks, it's very hard to grasp.
I'm Gamma operative. Looks upward toward the stars and sees danger. Ear laughs at and destroys. People call me Laughs. I'm comfortable with that. I just want you all to know that I love you, have always loved you, and appreciate everything we have done together and will do together. And they will go for a hug to everyone. And anyone that doesn't hug them, they are completely comfortable with that.
How tall is Laughs?
When they stand up, they are so usually they are squat, so they are down on all their legs, and they're maybe 3 or 4 feet tall at most, like they're human hip height, but they stand up on 2 of their legs, and at that point they are 6.5 feet tall. But that is not their normal like listener position. It's just one that Laugh seems to use to interact with people.
And you're radially symmetrical with 5 segments?
Correct.
Okay.
You have a mouth in your stomach?
No, I think they have mouths in their tendrils and at the ends of their arms, if I remember right.
Walk on your mouth's gross.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Close enough.
biodiversity.
Yeah.
The floor tastes delicious today.
Okay, I have a question, everybody. Who's in charge?
Me.
I don't. Is
He
that
is the
official,
highest
or are you just?
ranking.
Well, I'm not in the military.
Misoko will speak up. She says, while Flight Lieutenant Fletcher is the highest ranking Legionnaire in the party, Aeon, this is an Aeon Trinity Proteus established team. And the Aeon Trinity uses an ad hoc horizontal authority structure.
There we go.
It is assumed that the team will work together to determine who has the most appropriate skill set in the immediate situation, and authority will flow to that person.
Exactly how it should be. Good.
I have, if we are going to be talking about bona fides, I have led troops into battle before, both infantry, aerospace, flight capable machines, and VARGs. I was literally attached to this outfit as tactical and strategic commander. But if we want to do it Eon's way, I guess we can do it Eon's way. So there you go.
I didn't realize you're the only one here who had fought aberrants before, because I thought I'd spent like 10 years doing it, but I guess I was wrong. Sorry, that
All
was
right.
me
This,
being snarky.
this, I'm gonna step away from this dick waving contest right now and actually do something useful. And that is when I'll be stepping away to work with Misato.
Okay, so what are you attempting to garner?
It was, I believe, any data from our VARGs that either just precipitating the attack or during the attack both. So basically, I'm trying to get any technical data I can.
Go ahead and make me a enigmas roll to parse out that information. It's a lot of, like, your VARGs have sensors, and like Misoko has a lot of like data in her. So you can cross-reference and figure stuff out.
That works. Sorry.
Before we make this roll,
Yes.
I'm going to activate our first reverie. So as you are beginning to pore over this information, we whoosh back in time to another time, a time previous in Raphael's life and career. Please set the stage for us, Johnathan. Which of your reveries would you like to participate in at this point?
Oh shit, I'm the first one up with these. I think that my origin path one would be ideal for this, honestly. So the scene would essentially be set in a public library when Raphael was much younger, just a scrawny little kid with a stack of finished books on one side of him. On one side of him that have all been, clearly finished and thumbed through, looking at one other book and sighing, already read this one, and setting it aside, looking somewhat annoyed that he has gone through all of the things that are deemed appropriate for an 8-year-old in the nonfiction section of a library.
So I believe that puts Jim in the spotlight as Arturo Ramos.
Yes. Seeing that the young Raphael is flustered and frustrated by their lack of literary engagement, as any good librarian would do, they will come over and have you finished all of your books on the table, or is this your new stack for the day?
I finished every book in this stack. I've finished every book that's already on the shelves. The one book that I thought that I hadn't finished already is this one right here, but I have. It's basically the same information that's in. He'll really fast run a finger down the stack that's in this one. So,
Okay, well, have you attempted to take any of the knowledge you've garnered and put it to practical use?
if acing every test that I take in school counts for that, yes. But
Tests aren't real world. Tests are meant to assess what you've been learning in school. In most real world scenarios, you're never going to find, and they're going to look through the stack of books, you're never going to find, this applied like it is in a test. It's never going to be straightforward.
how do I do that then?
Well, why don't we go over to the computer section and I'll show you a couple of things.
Okay.
And they'll, plop all the books on the table onto the cart of books that has to go get put away. And they'll take Raphael over to the because how libraries, they have the books and then they have computers usually, for those that are in the unfortunate situation where they can't have them at home, or they need something more. So they'll take them over and they'll sit them down at a computer near the end of a table somewhere there where they can easily pull up a chair next to them. And they're going to open up a rudimentary, since this is applying to hacking, I'm going to do, or not hacking, but data reading. They're going to go into the program files and they're going to open up the actual executable file for a program, but in Notepad, so you can read all of the code that makes up that executable file. And so whenever you build a program or someone builds a program, you have to write code to tell which switches that they need power and which ones do not. At the end of the day, all code boils down into a 1 or 0. But we've gotten a lot more complicated over the years. And I personally am not the best coder. So Arturo is going to start going through and showing Raphael the different basics of what makes up an executable file. And once they get the hang of that, they'll go on and show them other kinds of files and what makes them up behind the scenes.
And as this code starts to form and the stereotypical pieces of code start to form in Raphael's imagination, we will move back to the future as you've written a little executable of your own to start data compiling and cross-referencing things, because you've got 5 different VARG systems all running off slightly different code bases, cross-referencing with the SI, the Trinity SI. And I will say that will give you 9 again on this particular roll.
I will take that 9 again. Hold on. Roll 2 of them because I rolled 9s. Okay. That gives me a total of 7 successes.
Okay. So you're going through your cross-referencing, looking for scanners. You definitely get the station's onboard aberscope that detected a small upsurge of quantum energy just prior to the attack, something on board the station. So you're able to tell like the initial incursion point came from within the station. You cross-reference it with, a member, the location data of a member of the staff. You follow that trail down. You look into her. You crack into the personal entries, where you find like an encrypted data log under her personal section of the thing that includes like shorthand list of like mission briefing on this data. This person has been added to the team, like someone who would be spying on this mission.
Got it.
You see those logs. So yeah, you identify there was a spy on board who must have done something to activate or call the aberrants to the station. I will say you have 3 clues remaining, which I will say will be 3 questions that you can ask about the situation.
Okay. In these notes of theirs, are all of us listed as known quantities on this mission?
With the exception of laughs, yes.
Okay. Trying to think. I did not expect to get 3 questions on that.
You can bank those clues for later.
I will bank them because after relaying that, because after getting this information, Raphael is then going to relay that to the rest of the group. All of what he has so far.
Were you able to figure out who was the spy?
Yeah, you have a name.
And the name will be relayed.
Dead now.
Very
I'm
good.
gonna make a note of that for my own logs.
Sure.
Scott, I have a question, a rules question / physics question. My base power of spatial awareness, or spatial sense, lets me create a psionic connection. But if I were to use it right now, would it be to the ship or to this point in space?
I would say it would be to the ship.
Okay, because those are 2 very, very
Yes,
different things.
yes.
One's useful and one is not.
You are more connected to the ship because it's a thing that has people in it and has biotech in it than pure void.
I guess that makes sense because technically planets are always moving anyway. So
Mhm.
I would like to attempt to do that.
Okay, you can
So
go ahead and do that.
For a month, we can run back here.
So I will say that as you're doing that, as you've related that information, the ship begins to approach this. It looks like it's very, very odd because it's not what you expect when you think a planetoid. It is a vaguely spherical shape, probably about the size of Nebraska if you put it up into a ball. Floating out in the nothing, there is a bright, like hard to look at orb orbiting it. Those of you with psychic senses can detect a strong psionic emanation, a photokinetic emanation coming from it. And the ship crosses sort of the horizon of that and lands on the edge of a mountain range in some foothills at the side of a large lake that just brims with light and energy, over which there's kind of like a scaffolding, kind of like a fish farm type scaffolding has been laced across this lake. As the ship lands, those telekinetic tendrils deposit each of your vargs into one of the sections of the lake, where it becomes submerged in this bright, glowing, energetic water. And the ship lands on a platform where there has been set up a small encampment, kind of very, very sort of military style, small structures. There's sort of like a little cabin for each of you. So you have a private space on it. And there is a line of demarcation, kind of semicircular around the encampment, staked out with these sort of pylons in the ground as you line up. And we close as the ship lands and the team embarks onto this strange landscape that's just off in its colors. It looks mostly normal, but the coloring of everything is just a shade off of what you would expect from a calm mountain lake. As you all descend the ramp into this staging area encampment. And that's where we'll end for the day. Let us address our XP. So everyone is going to get 2 XP base for attendance. I'll be generous in that regard. Did anyone achieve a short-term aspiration?
I believe I survived a firefight.
You absolutely did. So go ahead and check that off on our tracker sheet if you did. So that will be additional XP for everyone who did that. Make sure to be thinking of a new aspiration to replace that. It doesn't sound like everyone got a short-term aspiration, so no one's going to get that bonus. And I don't think anyone had a long-term aspiration either.
I think I technically fulfilled one of them in that my getting to prove all of my time spent with my nose in books. I will absolutely allow that. Go ahead and check that off and get that XP. I do believe that you did also spend half the available momentum in a single scene. I think that was very thoroughly done. So everyone gets an additional XP for that. And I say that the beginning of a story is a story milestone, so everyone gets an additional XP for that. So
I am curious, does anyone consider me to have made friends with them?
That's a good question.
Then I did not accomplish one of my short terms, and I didn't receive a scar from the injury that I took. So,
oh no,
yeah, it'll have to be nastier than that. I think
it will, in fact.
Well, you got punched by like a burning hand, didn't you?
I did not.
It was a heavy hand.
I thought they had crackling energy, or maybe just the one that set my hair on fire did.
Maybe. I mean, if you want to say that leaves a scar, it was a quantum-based attack.
I'm trying to think, like, because I didn't get hit. The only injury that I took over the course was my VARG shutting off one hard point.
Yeah, you did not actually.
Oh, right. You didn't get hit in the brawl.
I did not. I'm just too good.
Too good. All right. So, let's go around the table. Give everyone else a who are you, who did you play, and anything that you might want to plug on the way out. With the understanding that this is pre-recorded and will go out probably a month. So let's start with Sean.
My name is Sean Creef. I played Wu Cesar, and I do not have anything that will be coming out anytime soon to plug, but you can find me on Twitter at Sean Creef. From there, you can find all of my community content and official works linked on DriveThruRPG.
And throw it to somebody.
James.
I am James, he, him. I've been playing Logan McCall. I don't really have anything to promote as of yet. Eventually I will, but for right now, that is a negative. I will go ahead and pass it to Josh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Heath, he, him. I played Looks Upward Toward the Stars and Sees Danger Ear Laughs at and Destroys, known as Laughs. And if you're interested in talking to me, I don't know why, but you can do so on Twitter at Podcast Werewolf. And Johnathan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnathan Fye. I was Rafael Alvarez Castillo. You can find me on Twitter as Nox Eternus, and usually you can find me as some permutation of that name all over the internet. I am the community manager for Jackalope Live Action Studios. We produce a Vampire the Masquerade Sabbat LARP every year called The Night in Question. I am also one of the founding creative partners of Cerberus Interactive Media, and this upcoming January at Midwinter 2023, we will be running a 2-night Nordic LARP event called Giovanni the Family Reunion about the formation of the Hecata by the various and disparate clans of death.
Sounds
You
good.
can also see me on the current season, which is season 9 of ATL by Night.
Awesome. And that would leave Nigel, I believe.
Hello, my name is Nigel O'Rear. I have been playing Flight Lieutenant Jude Fletcher. I don't have anything to plug, and I tend to keep my online presence rather obfuscated. So I should probably make an account that people can talk to me at if they want. So I'll be doing that at some point.
Well, we'll address that in a little bit, but my name is Scott Cuban. I've been the story guide of this game. I had a blast doing it. I hope that you all had a blast watching it, and I hope you all had a blast playing it. Let's say blast one more time.
Blast!
Thank you. You can find me at Simulacra RPGs on the Bird app. You can also follow on Twitch and YouTube at Simulacra TV, which is this here actual play studio. If you'd like to support the show and the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. One of the benefits of which is that you get to join our private Discord and have conversations with these people in the general channel, if you so desire. You can also check out my work on the Story Path Nexus on Drive-Thru RPG. I've got one book right now. It's an Aeon book based on youth culture, and I'm pretty proud of it. And so, yeah, check that out. So until next time, we'll see you in the stars.